Hello everyone, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? I don't think so. We are live. Oh, look, so welcome guys to another stream. So today in the stream we'll be building this EventPro application. It looks pretty darn good. Has all of the things that a website needs or commercial website needs. It doesn't have a lot of it does have a few effects. However, it doesn't have the all of the effects that'll make a website look good. Let's say it doesn't have hover effects. I mean, we can make it in the stream if you want. If you guys want, it's totally doable. Now, yeah, with that said, I think we should start building it. Before I do that, give me a quick minute. And give me a quick minute, and we should be good. Give me a quick minute, guys. So I'm just gonna do a few stuff real quick before doing anything. And yeah, after that we should be good. Yeah, okay. I do have the chat pulled out. So if you see anything, you can chat with me and see if it's actually working, right? Can you guys say something like hi, hello, whatever? Anything works? So I'm gonna, come right here and start doing the thing, right? Can you guys hear me? Can you say something, guys? Like hi, hello, or whatever. Okay, so then without further ado, let's start building it. So Ruby Glancer, go, go, go. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. So I'm just gonna put my phone aside and let's start building this project, right? And the first thing I need, obviously, we're calling it the event management system because it basically manages the event. If I have to go here, we have a lot of thing. Let's say we're managing events like weddings, birthdays, or anything like anniversaries. It kind of, we're trying to simulate that kind of clients. So we're basically building that kind of website. So now that we have a quick thing, we can just do that. Actually, I want it to be on the right side. There we go. Now we can do is just build this. I'm just gonna make style.css file and script.js. So those are the main three things that we need. I hope you guys already know by now. You should know these things, right? So after that, what I'm gonna do is go to my index.html file and come down here. Tell me if you guys cannot see the text. I'm just gonna zoom in. Tell me if it's visible. If it's not, call me out. I'm gonna make it so you guys can actually see it. Okay. I'm just gonna call it whatever that is. So I'm just gonna be event management system. So I'm just gonna make that. I'm just gonna type event management because I'm lazy, and I'm also gonna import my font awesome things. That is from Cloudflare, obviously from CDN. So this is a universal font icons pack that we can use from Font Awesome. So I'm just going to use that. Next thing, what I'm going to do is link my CSS file. So I'm just going to do style.css and do script.js, just like that. And we're good to go. So that is all of our boilerplate. I'm going to hit go live and I'll start our small live server, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is make a comment called header, signifying that's header. And I'm just going to type header here. Inside the header tag, I'm going to make a nav. Inside the nav tag, I'm going to make a container. So just like that, that will be our nav container. So inside this, I'm just going to make a logo. This will be the logo for our website, just a small text. So I'm just going to use that, right? While I say this, tell me how. I've always asked my viewers how was your day. So let me know. How was your day? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it alright? How was it? So next thing I need to do is make a div for nav links, right? Actually that's the wrong thing. So what I'm gonna do here is make a UL tag for this. Oops. And inside the UL tag, I'm gonna make a li tag. Inside the li tag, I'm gonna make a anchor tag. So this will lead to home, basically different parts, different sections of our web page. And I'm just gonna do that, and I'm just gonna copy this few times, depending on how many times I need it. The next thing will be services, and the third one will be portfolio, just like that. I'm also gonna decapitalize that, and also do testimonials, just like that. And also do contact, right? Just like that. And here I'm just gonna do home. I'm just gonna type services, and also do portfolio. So Ruby Glancer, welcome to the stream. You said go, 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 so I'm just gonna go. So yeah, welcome to the stream. I forgot to welcome you. I'm sorry about that, actually. I was kind of in a hurry when you said go, go, go. So yeah. So yeah, that is our 4 li tags that we need, and that is pretty much it. I mean, that's majority. Another thing I need to make is for a button for our hamburger menu for making it responsive. I'm gonna make a button with a class menu toggle, which will be a toggle button with the I class, just like that. And do class, do FES, FE, and bars. Can you guys type something? Do you know that is you guys are there? Because right now I can't tell if you guys are there. Let me check the chat's working in mine, because I have the pop-up opened in mine. Not sure if it's working. Give me a second. So it is working. Okay, so it's working. That's fine. So yeah, that is for the nav bar. Lumen, where are you from? I'm here. Oh, hi Alicia. Lumen, welcome to the stream. Alicia, welcome to the stream as always. I'm sorry I couldn't go live yesterday because I was pretty busy. CSS Kadri, welcome to the stream. Let's go. Where are you from? I'm from Nepal, man. I've said this many times on stream. I'm from Nepal. Yeah. Oh, Alicia knows. Alicia knows. So next thing we'll just style this navbar. I kind of forgot the word. Oh my god. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do here is first call our universal selector and do margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing set to border box. So that's the first thing that we do. Always, remove the default padding and margin and set that to border box. Next thing what I need to do is set the body. So first thing I need to do is set the universal font family, which is the font, right? I'm going to just use Arial because it looks cool, and it's, again, by default is supported, and we don't have to import stuff, so I'm just going to use Arial, and plus it does look nice. And next, I'm just going to use line height set to 1.6, just like that, and next change the color to a gray one, just like that. And that's for the body. Now for the main container, which is, our nav bar. I'm going to call the container and I'm going to set the max width to 1200 pixels, setting the max width to 1200 pixels on the width, and giving a margin 0 and auto, just like that. Also do a padding 0 and 20 pixels, just like that. It'll give it padding on the left. Now, next thing I need to do is give a header, giving a background setting to, I'm just going to give a hexar, so I'm just going to do 2C3E50. You can also make a CSS variable for this, right? Because it's probably going to be used a lot. In ideal world, you want to use CSS variables. However, I'm too lazy and I'm not going to be doing that. Okay. I'm just going to use set the color to white because you guys cannot see the thing. I also set the padding on the y-axis to 0, and I don't need on the x. Now next, I need to set the width to set it to 100%. By doing this, it will get 100% of 1200 pixels, not all of this, right? You have to understand that. And next, I can just do top 0 and set the position first. Oh shoot. What I need to do is do position fix first, because position property only works if not the top property only works if you have a positioned element. I'm just gonna do position fix because it's a navbar. It has to be fixed all the time on the top, right? By setting it to top 0, which is right over there, it will basically set that to be fixed on the top. Next, set the z index to 1000, making sure it's always at the top. Now, if you have any pop-ups that need to be overlapped, you have to give a bigger z index than 1000 to hide the thing. Next is box shadow. For box shadow, I'm gonna give a y of 0 and an x of 2. I'm gonna give a blur of 10 pixels and also do a RGBA, giving RGBA a value. By the way, if you didn't know, RGBA is basically red, blue, green, and alpha. So you have to give the value of those 4 things. I'm just gonna give 0 for all of the RGB and give 0.1 for alpha, which basically acts like a tuner on how lighter or how darker you want the color to be. That's how it works, okay? And yeah, that's for the header. That's for the header element, right? For the navbar, what I need to do is set, give me a second. For the navbar, what I'm going to do is do display flex. I want it to be flexed, obviously. And do justify content set to space between. And do align items set to center. By doing this, it will be just like that. How we want, right? Next thing we have to style is the logo. So I'm just going to do logo here. By the way, guys, how was your day? Do you look at the cheat sheet while coding? Yes. If you think I'm so good that I can just memorize the code, it's impossible. Unless I'm doing it with a design, like a Figma design or any design of a dummy web page, I can do it like that. In ideal world, normal front-end developer, they cannot bring this from their butt. Like, I don't think I can say the word, but yeah, I'm not that good. Okay, I'm just gonna give a disclaimer. If you think I'm that good, I'm not. Today was my first university day. It was so tiring but excited but tiring. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, good day. Nice, that's good. So it was exciting, right? I mean, it's actually good. You think university exciting? That's pretty good. But normally, people lose interest after like their first or second year. So I hope you don't do that. So Lumen, you get it, right? I'm giving disclaimer to viewers. I am watching a cheat sheet. Okay, I don't want to be like saying, oh, I'm cheating, right? Oh, I don't want to be, that guy is cheating. No, like, no. All front-end developers do copy from a already pre-made design, and that's how they make it, right? They just have to copy the design that was made by the designer. That's how the things are in professional work. So if you're making something, let's say you're making some website or web page, I highly recommend you to design it first and then start coding. You can use Figma, or I don't think people use Illustrator or other stuff. Normally, everybody uses Figma because it's pretty dang good and also works straight from your web browser, or you can also download their Figma desktop thing. It completely works like that. I don't know. Did you lost interest in university after 2 years? No, actually. Because I was so into things. In first year, I learned normal front-end like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Immediately at the summer break, at my first year, I immediately started learning React, and yeah, I just stopped learning. Like, third year was hectic because we had to submit some few other stuff like projects, and yeah. So third year, I could not learn anything, so I was just building projects for here and there, and like kind of hectic. And I also had my part-time work. Yeah. Oh, it's so common to forget. I can't remember the thing which I studied earlier. Uh, okay. The reason that is, I think, is I'm guessing. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. That means you don't have enough practice. So if you study something, especially when it's come to coding, like implement it or just try to make a how do you like try to implement in your code immediately. That's how you learn. Okay, you just it's not like coding is not like like reading. It's like math. You'll see your professor doing math problems and you'll think, oh, it's easy. You do it like this. But if you try to do it, it's like, what? Same like that coding. If you're watching a guy who can code, you will say, oh, it's easy. You just type that and there, boom. But like if you try to code that, then you'll be like, what am I looking at? That's happened to me when I started coding. Okay? So that's the thing that people kind of not do. So I highly recommend when you're especially when you're coding, practice the code. That's cool. It means that maybe I will not lose interest. Yeah, hopefully. But losing interest doesn't mean like you'll lose interest, right? It's like sometimes what happens is like you'll lose interest in one things, but you'll develop interest in other stuff, and that might just be a whole nother hobby, like even a side hobby, even. That will just make you like interested in other stuff. That's completely like normal. Relatable for me, yeah. That is very relatable. When I was first starting out, I saw my like professors like coding, like they just show, yeah, this is how you do it. I was like, yeah, it's easy. That is how you do it. And when I tried to do it, I was like, how do you do it? That just happens, man. I'm just gonna set the color to white and also doing text decoration to none and also do font weight. I mean, Lumin, there are people, I'm not saying there aren't people who can just like, who like don't have to, like, I'm not saying every front-end developer has to, like, depend on the design. There are incredible front-end developers like that just have the layout just, memorized somehow because they have done it so many times. And yeah, they are pretty good at, they have a lot of experience. I don't have that much experience in terms of front end, so that's just how it is, man. I'm sorry. So last for the menu toggles, what we did here, set the font weight, set a transition for here. I forgot to make a hover effect, so I'm just gonna quickly do that. I made double dot there, which is, oops, and like going to gym to gain muscles. Exactly. Like unless you train and push your body like to the limits, and start recovering, that's how you like develop muscles. That's just how it is, man. You have to do it yourself. Even if like how to do it, unless you do it, you will not know how to do it. I don't know what I'm speaking at this point. Am I even speaking English? But yeah, I think I get it. So for the menu toggle, right, I'm just gonna do menu toggle and do display none. So that'll basically change that to none. However, I'm just gonna comment that out for now, right, and set the background to none because I don't want the background, right? It's ugly. And do border set to none. I don't want any border. And also do color to white because right now it's black. And it doesn't go with our background. Making it white will actually make it look good. Next is font size. It's really small, so I'm just increase the font size to that, right? 1.5 should be enough. And next, I'm just gonna set the cursor to pointer, so that's why it will change the cursor when you hover over it. Now, what I can do is just uncomment that part out, and that is our navbar. That is all that we have to do, and let's move on to our hero section. So hero section is a section that you see under the navbar, which normally with a big picture and a bunch of text, around it, even a button, probably, maybe, sometimes. So I'm just gonna make it. So right. So hero section, I'm gonna give it a class hero and also give it an ID home. The reason I do that is I want to link when you click on this home icon, right? I want it to be scrolled to this section. So that's how you link the anchor tags, right? In the same web page. In JavaScript at least. And if you're using React, you would probably use links, because normally you can still use anchor tags in React, but like it reloads your page, which is not how React works. So how do you get these project ideas? So what we do is obviously, usually you just use ChatGPT to, sometimes we cannot think of ideas. Like yesterday's stream was cut off on the, suddenly, because there was a power cut. I'm sorry about that. But I just basically, for that project, I was like, I was scrolling through Instagram Reels, and I just saw somebody playing Wordle, like some streamer. I was like, this is a fun project that I could make, and I thought it could get views, so I just made that. The CSS was normal base idea was made by AI, obviously, because it was a sudden project, but it was refined by our designer. So yeah. Now let me stop talking, because we have a lot of things to do, because if I cannot finish the project in next 3 hours, I'm screwed. So let me just quickly do that. I might copy paste some things. Okay, I'm just giving you a heads up, but I will explain it when I'm copy pasting. Okay, it will not be totally atrocious. I promise. I'll just copy paste the code in bounds. Okay. Creating unforgettable. I'm just typing random things here. So this is just random data, random dummy data, or random dummy things. After that, did I just set the color to white? Yeah, am I inside the header again? No. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna reopen the port, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so if I can just come here. Oh, I forgot it was okay. I forgot it was fixed. If you're thinking why this text is not appearing in the screen, because it's fixed, right? We can change that by giving it a -1, and you'll see the creating unforgettable events coming up over the actual thing. So yeah, so it's basically hidden under the nav bar. We can fix that. That's not a problem. But I was confused for a second because I forgot that was positioned. And yeah, I hope Lumin, I hope that answers your question. So sometimes we just we do things, like we actually think about ideas. If we cannot think about ideas, normally we just like use AI, because what to do. We need to get the data, and we also check what people search for on the internet, and depending on that we make the project. So yeah, like we also use SEO for that. SEO, if you didn't know, that's search engine optimization, meaning we are getting the data on what do people like or what do people search on YouTube, and depending on that we make a project. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna make a CTA button, meaning and also do get free quote, just like that. That will be thing, and that's pretty much it for hero section. I don't think we need anything else. And let's start to style our hero section, shall we? So next thing what I need to do is make it a hero, right? Call our thing. Set the background. So here I'm gonna use linear gradient, right? Well, basically mixing of two colors, if you guys didn't know. Here, what I'm going to do is use linear gradient and also use a image. So here, I'm going to use a RGBA color. I'm going to use 44, 62, 80, 80, and 0.8. Also do And let me guys, tell me if you want to see other projects. Tell me how other else. How do I say it? What do you want me to build on stream? So you guys also can say that on chat, and I'll try to do it. Like Alicia said, she wanted I don't know, like Alicia said, you know, Alicia wanted to see more of the projects about website projects. So I brought another website project today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys want to see more projects or whatever you want to see, just let me know. I'll try to do it. Now, next one I'm going to do is do background size. I'm just going to set this to, oops. Background size, set this to cover. And before that, because it's not doing anything, what I need to do is come down here and do exactly, yep. Do display flags and also give align items set to center. And also give in height, because right now you cannot see anything. So I'm just going to do 100 VH height here. And also give here what I need to do is give and do background positioned. Oops. Do background position set to center. And also do justify content set to center. And do text align set to center. And also do margin top set to 17 pixels. Did I not set the URL or something? Give me a second, guys. I'm building an online store, and it takes a lot of time and motivation. Yes, it does take a lot of time. Now that is something you have to understand. Okay, so I get the issue. It's inside the linear gradient. That is not how we're supposed to do it. So you have to put it here, and there should be the thing. There we go. And yeah, so next thing I need to do is also margin top. And what else do I need? I also need, okay, so I need that. Color, I need to set that to white. There we go. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to do anything else. Now, next thing for the styling, we'll style it individually, saying hero content h1, and also do font size, change that to 3.5 rem. I mean, it does take a lot of time when building a project to showcase on GitHub or whatever for front-end interviews. That's completely fine. If you're a beginner, I don't think you are. By the way you're asking me questions, I don't think you are a beginner. If you are, then that's still good. That's you are trying to build something. If you aren't, that's completely fine still. You can try to build projects and push them in GitHub. Initially, it will be hard if you're it's your first time. Then why does the code look so different when I inspect on other website? Normally because they don't use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. One of the reasons is because they use frameworks of React. Second week, kind of beginner. Okay, so here how things go, right? The base of the front-end web development is obviously HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. However, normally what happens is when not every website uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They use frameworks of JavaScript like React. React is a framework, not framework, it's a library, but it's treated as a framework. And React in itself has another framework that's called Next.js, which basically solves the SEO or it's kind of an upgraded version of React. So people can use that. And in backend, people normally use Express, Node, which are still frameworks of JavaScript that is used in backend, right? That's how the things are. So normally it's kind of a thing. And yeah, it's just how it is. So I'm gonna stop yapping. And the thing, if you're a second week beginner, first thing, let me ask you something. Do you know Flex? Can you use Flex? Because that's the first thing I normally ask, like beginners. Can you use Flex in the CSS if you're making layouts? That is. So here what I'm doing is giving a font size, margin bottom, and max setting the mask width. Now this fade in animation will basically be making it later. Yes, that's great. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that. If you can use Flex, that's like the best layouting tool. You don't even normally use Grid, right? Flex does everything for you. Grid is better in some cases. I'm gonna show you why, because this project also has Grid. But yeah, if you just have Flex down, if you have if you understand the concept of Flex, that's really powerful. Flex is really powerful. So I'm actually impressed because it's their second week and you already have Flex down. It's kind of crazy because normally people don't have it down. Okay, so yeah, that's really good. Congrats, man. I was gonna do text line center. Okay, it kind of doesn't work. Oh, it is in the center. That makes sense. I mean, I can put it at the center. However, do I do it? I'll set the max width to something like that and make it so here, which is the outermost div. Align item center, specify content center, that's completely fine. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, that's pretty much it. First button, I need to change the background. Oops, background. Wait, what's background? Background to red, and also to. I watched and still a lot of videos on Flexbox tutorials. Yeah, that's good. That is exactly how you learn things. Like, first you have to see other people do it, and then you try to do it yourself, like applying all of the concepts that you have learned, and that's how you just learn. So I'm just gonna do border none, and also do font size set to 1.1 rem. I also set the cursor to pointer, and also do text decoration set to none. Also do display inline block, and do transition set to what do I need to do? Transition set to all 0.3 seconds at ease, and also do animation, do fade and up 1 second, ease 0.6 seconds, and do both. Now by doing that, I also can add border radius, set that to 50 pixels. And yeah, that is our thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm seeing if I did mess up somewhere else. Also do that, continue line item center. Just a content center. That's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. What is this Flexbox? So there are, Alicia, what happens is in HTML CSS, especially in CSS, because Flexbox is a layouting tool. So basically Flexbox is a layouting tool that you can use to make layouts, right? Now there is float, which is an old way of layouting before Flex came out, right? People used to use float and position to make layouts, but it was kind of really bad when making responsive designs or just making any changes. Now Flex, in other hand, is basically very, very powerful and makes your layouting a lot more easier than float. Another layouting tool that is grid is kind of even more powerful, but sometimes it's not that applicable because of some areas being Flex just being better. So you can, if you're into web dev, you can first learn HTML, CSS. After getting to know layouting a little better, you can use Flex to make the thing, make your layouts. Thanks, bro. Because of you, I got selected in my college web dev club interview. Wow, actually, damn. Congrats, man. I don't think it's me though. It's all you. You don't have to glaze me and give me credits, man. It's your hard work. Do you use Flex? Yeah, I use Flex a lot. I'm actually using Flex right now. There we go. Display Flex. You can also use display grid, just like that. It has, different properties, obviously. But yeah, Flex is really powerful. You can use Flex everywhere. There's Flex here, and there will be Flex on the nav bar again. There we go. Now, later on, we still have to use a lot of Flex. So, yeah. So next thing I need to make is for the services. Now here, as I said, I will be using the, I will be copy pasting a lot of the code because it's just the same container but different why did I do that? And this is the same container but different contents, and I don't want to be like a guy who's just copy pasting content from another monitor. So I'm just gonna copy paste the entire code. I will be explaining what I changed though. That is the thing I'm gonna be doing, right? But do you seriously want me to like type everything and just make it a 4-hour long stream? No, right? So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna make base container though. I'm gonna make for the section header. I'm just gonna make that. That's completely doable. I'm just gonna use our services just like that, and also do p tag. I'm just gonna copy the random text that we have here. So Alicia, if you're starting out, I highly recommend you learn Flex, because I didn't learn Flex for the longest time thinking it was like something like, only pros would use. Like, I thought it was a super complicated layouting tool that I just couldn't understand. But when I actually started doing it, it was not too bad, actually. Now, I do have a Flexbox tutorial in this channel if you want. I think it's episode 9, I believe. So, go to HTML. You can type HTML CSS series and type code and search it on YouTube, and you'll find my tutorial. So you can. I have explained Flexbox pretty good, I think. Oh wait, Flex is a property and Flexbox is a system. My bad. I thought it was the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. Your projects made me understand the topics more than any tutorials, and I'm not confident saying I can learn backend. Yeah, that makes sense. If you are confident in front end, then why not back end? You can just explore. I mean, it's just how it is, though. The faster you start, the faster you'll learn, right? The faster you'll become things. One thing I don't understand people do, because I've seen a lot of people in my friend circle doing it. Don't just sit around in college, right? If you're actually going to college, you're paying for tuition. Try to learn as much as you can from those teachers to get your money's worth. Like, that is like my philosophy. Honestly, I think that's a lot of people's philosophy, though. So, just try to learn as much as you can. So, yeah. The service card, congrats, Het Vicaria. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but congrats and welcome to the stream. So what I'm gonna do here is do service. I need to change it. I need to make a service icon first. I'm just gonna do service icon div. Inside this, I'm gonna use a icon tag from our font awesome, saying FAS, FA, FA and ring. That'll give me a ring icon. If you guys can see here, that's the ring icon, right? And next thing I need to do is make a tree. I'm sorry if you guys can hear like any background noise. I have been like actually trying to like, you know, try to fix, like I'm trying to fix it. Just cannot get it to work, man. I'm just gonna do private parties. I'm just gonna write a bunch of things here. This is all dummy data generated by ChatGPT, so don't, if it's like whatever, don't quote me on that. So, but it's such a dummy website, I'm just gonna be using that. So here, I'm gonna use the powerful tool of copy pasting, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, it will all have the same layout. So this is what I'm gonna be copy pasting, right? I can just copy paste it just like this, but it will just have the same content, which it will make it look worse. So I'm just gonna be changing the icon, the contents, and that's it. Everything will be the exact same, okay? So I'm just gonna copy paste here, just like that, because I don't want to sit like making all of those things and just, you know, changing the content one by. That will take forever. So yeah, as you can see, everything is the same. It is service card, it is service icon, but the icons have changed. It's a birthday cake and the briefcase, and the contents have changed. Nothing else has changed, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, don't be mad, please. Okay, don't be mad, please, guys. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the thing. And yeah, that's all the services. Now let's move on to actually styling the services. So services, I'm just gonna do services, get the outermost container, give it a padding of 80 pixels. It is on the y-axis, by the way, giving the padding 0 on the x-axis. As you can see, there is a gap between the container. That is what 80 pixel padding does. And give background, let's say a background of a grayish background. So I'm just gonna do F8, F9, FA, and give it a tintish gray, but kind of close to white, can't tell. But yeah. Now for the section header, what I'm gonna do is do text line set to center and do margin bottom set to 60 pixels. Those teachers in college are not teaching us nothing, bro. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of understandable, but like if you just, you know, just directly go to them and just say, I don't understand this and just teach me, please, then I don't think they can refuse. I mean, you know, the first mistake that students do is they just do not ask. I mean, to be fair, there are a lot of sources online that you can rely on instead of relying on your teachers. I mean, you can literally use ChatGPT to just, you know, just ask it to, you know, just teach me this stuff. But yeah, sometimes like if an AI cannot make you, like, you know, explain it to you, then you need an experienced physical person to do it for you. And that's where teachers come in, man. So what I'm gonna do is just use the same thing, the same color, and also do margin bottom set to 15. I'm coding really slow. I need to fast. I need to be quicker. The section header, I'm just doing H2. I'm gonna do font size. Not so. Oops. Not H2. I did H2 again. Do paragraph tag and also do 1.1 rem. Set that to that. Color set to a darker gray. And also I need to do max width. And it's really long right now, so I'm just gonna do 600 pixels and do margins 0 auto. I'm studying mechanical engineering, but I'm also into HTML and CSS. That's great. Okay, so now we'll be using grid for this. Now you can use flex and use flex wrap or flex one, whatever you like. That's completely fine. But grid is extremely powerful for these kind of layouts on, you know, kind of a grid style layout. That's why it's called grid. So I'm gonna first make the outermost container of these cards a grid. I'm just gonna do display grid, and now what I'm gonna do is do grid template columns, do repeat. I'm gonna repeat all of that. Make sure I'm just gonna do auto fit, so it will auto fit up to when I need to give it a specific minimum value. If per container exceeds the pixel, like exceeds the width of 300 pixels per fraction when you're just making a line, then it will just come down just like that, right? Now, if I just do here, as you can see, it will just be responsive in its own. That's why grid is very powerful. And now, right now, there is no gap between them. I'm also going to give a gap of 30 pixels, and there will be a neatly separated on the grid, right? My teachers are very nice. Chemistry subject teachers are quite calm, but C language teachers was an angry bird. C just give 1 hour lecture and teach half an hour. That's, I mean, relatable. So next I'm just gonna do background white. Now you'll see the difference between the real white and the background, right? I'm just gonna do padding, set that to 40 pixels and 30 pixels. Also gonna give a border radius. We're just styling the outermost container here, by the way. And your text line set to center. And also do box shadow, give it a X value of 0, 25, and a blur of 20 pixels. And set the RGBA to a grayish color, and that will give us that. Looks pretty nice. And also do a transition of transform to 0.3 seconds at E. So that is the thing. You have to style the hover for this. You can do that, paste there. I'm just gonna add the hover and do a transform, translate. I'm just gonna make it come 5 pixels upward when hovering, so that will just look like that. Looks pretty neat. I mean, I'm not from a engineering background, so I haven't studied like physics and chemistry. I used to study chemistry back in high school. Bro, I hated chemistry. I'm sorry, but like the thing is I don't understand stuff. There used to be a lot of reactions that I needed to understand, like you need to memorize. Bro, I couldn't do it. Honestly, bro, it was so nerve-wracking. Like I used to just, just like ram all of that stuff before exam. I swear to God, I just couldn't do it. And do color, I'm just gonna set that to that, and also do margin bottom set to 20 pixels. And yeah, should look pretty damn good. Now, next thing I need to do is style the. I actually admire Alicia to study chemistry. My favorite subject is biology and maths and chemistry. Wow. I don't know why. I just don't like subjects that that I have to memorize stuff. Maths is really fun. But biology, I used to I needed to memorize a lot of the stuff, which was like this made no sense to me, at least, because no, I'm sorry, I just don't like stuff. So like I cannot be like remembering all of the scientific names of a lot of animals, Like that's what I needed to do, but I didn't. So I failed chemistry like every time. What do you do with these projects? We just put it somewhere. You can go to our website on coding.com. We just put the website on displays here. So if you go to labs right here. So if I just go here, and we display all of these projects here. So if you go to most recent, and yeah, there you can see the Wordle clone that we made, and also a lot of other stuff. There are a lot of other upcoming projects that we want to do, and yeah, And you can also check the things, check the projects and see which one you like the best, or just, tell me to do that next. And yeah, if you click on one of those projects, the code will be right up there, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, some of the code have not been organized. So like you'll see CSS and JavaScript inside HTML, which, in normal sense, you are not supposed to do that. But yeah, you can also change the layouts if you don't like the layouts, just like that. And you can also preview it live here, like you're, actually viewing a website. That's one of the features of our website, which is pretty cool. And also you can save the file and you can also share to other friends. Now, I plug our website every time that you guys visit, right? But I just can't let it, because we have worked on this for pretty long, and it's pretty damn cool. Come on, guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna do margin bottom set to 15 pixels, and also do color, set that to here. I need to work faster, or else I'm actually cooked. So okay, next section. So next is portfolio section. For all of the things, I'm just gonna do portfolio section for about us kind of thing. So here what I'm gonna do is just do portfolio. I'm just making sure I have, yeah, there we go. I kind of forgot, did I actually put the things? So I'm just gonna portfolio, and also give the same ID here, and just like that, that will make that. Give it a container, and inside the container we'll basically make our section headers. So I'm gonna do section header. What am I doing? It's HTML, not CSS. And also do our portfolio, and also do P. Now I'm just gonna add a text here. I mean, we can do like a session on like copying Figma layouts if you guys want, to see how actual front-end developers work on a real industry level project, like how things are done actually in a real life setting, right? Normally, when working as a team, first what happens for front ends? First, designer makes a design according to how the product is, and front end just copies the layout, right? Now, if the design is too difficult, front end people get sometimes pretty frustrated because it's too difficult and will take a lot of time. Now, if on the other hand, if designers see any flaws in the thing, then designers get pretty angry. So like that is something that I have personally experienced, and it's really, really scary, honestly. I've been yelled at from my designer saying, this is not right. Where is the gap between those two elements? Like, it's, yeah. It's just how it is. I'm just gonna give a data set on this saying all, right? So this will be a container, so initially it will be active here, and I'm just gonna do that. I need to make a couple of these buttons. Not everything will be active, so set one active. Now let's change the data set to weddings. So we'll basically make a filter out button. You'll be using filter, which is a higher order function in JavaScript, to actually make it, and it will just sort out whatever thing that we have, right? Parties, and I just can do, I can just change that to weddings, change that to corporate, and also change that to parties. Just the thing says private parties. I'm just gonna set that all to capitalized, just like that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for the actual grid, so this is the sorting out thing, right? You'll see what I'm talking about in a bit when I start to style, but we have to make the grid again. So I'm just gonna make a portfolio grid. Do you make websites by coding as per designers gives a website design? Yes, that is how you're supposed to do. Otherwise, it will just be a really hectic, So for the individual item here, what I'm going to do is do portfolio. So what happens, Alicia, is in a real life setting, designers make design on Figma or whatever the tool company uses, and then front developers see the design and try to copy exactly like not word to word, because like sometimes the datas are just like all over. That's the thing of the backend, to send data to the front end and just paste it from the API. However, designers do what they should do, that is design, right? They make the layouts on a designing tool, and front ends copy that design by hard coding, like the actual coding that. So that's how they do it. You don't start designing just straight up. You open VS Code. You first design and then code, because it's generally easier. So portfolio and do overlay. Can't I design the website? I love to design and draw, and I love painting also. Yeah, you can. That's fine. You can also get jobs as a designer, actually. Like companies hire designers for that, like UI UX designers or logo designers, or whatever design, like paint, cover, like for whatever they need to design. So depending upon your skills, or your expertise, they will hire you according to their needs. So I'm just gonna do that. Why use frameworks in web dev? That's a good question. So in React, the concept is pretty odd from normal JavaScript. However, it's practical. Okay. The reason why we use frameworks is because, how do I answer it? It's kind of it makes things easier. First thing, right? It makes things a lot more easier. Like, try making a counter, like a simple counter where you click the button and just the counter updates. Like when you click the button, 0 gets incremented by 1. Again, click it, it will increment to 2, right? That's a counter. Now, if you try to make that in JavaScript, that will probably take you around 10 to 15 lines of code. I'm just guessing in my head. In React, you can build that in literally 2 lines, right? That's one thing. And another thing is, like React uses virtual DOM, whereas JavaScript doesn't, right? So your website reloads every time you click on something like this, like that, every time, right? When an event triggers, unless you prevent default. So that's what the React does. If you do, I mean, you cannot do it right now, but like if you do e.prevent default or just do prevent defaults, you can change, you can control it. However, in React you don't have to. There are small things that just makes it better, right? There's a lot of other concepts like React props and a lot of things, but like you will understand once we use it. But yeah, it is practical. So and also do that. I'm again copying the items for the grid, which have different content and different images. So yeah, and one thing I'm also I'm changing, by the way, I haven't talked about it, I'm sorry. I'm also changing data category. This will be the main thing for sorting. Is it a wedding, or is it corporate or private parties or whatever, right? So we'll be using this data set to do it. So we are basically changing dataset on every single part. This is very important, by the way. If you put this on same, it will not work. The sorting will not work, at least. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just gonna copy a bunch of things. It has the category of wedding, and I think this has the category of corporate. It seems, if I go here, there we go. It has the corporate. And at last, it has the party. So this is how we do it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I can just format the document by prettier. And this is how it will look. But now let's style it. For portfolio, I'm just going to do portfolio. Do padding 80 pixels and do 0, just like that. No, it's already begun. You're kind of late, but it's fine. Welcome to the stream, Brian. As always, you have joined. Thank you so much for joining. How are you? So for filters, what I'm going to do is do display flex. And here, what I'm going to do is, which is, the actual things. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. So flex here, and here what I'm going to do is do justify contents, and that'll make them, in the center. And do gap 20 pixels. And also do margin bottom set to 50 pixels. And do flex wrap set to wrap. So if there's things, and you didn't ask me how I am. I did ask you, no? I asked everybody. What, Alicia? Okay, I'm just gonna ask you. How are you? How was your day? Was it good? Was it bad? How was your first day at university? I'm sad because you're already begun. No, it's like it's not. No, it's not. We're not even probably like halfway there. You're fine. We only have made this much, so yeah. Background, I'm just gonna do transparent because I don't want things, and also do borders. Set that to 2 pixels solid. The signature color that we have, not this one. Not this one too. What happened? This one. There we go. And do colors, set that to same color. Also do padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels. Also do border radius 25 pixels, and also do cursor set to pointer. Also do transition set to all 0.3 seconds at ease. And that's our button. Now we have to make a hover effect for this. What? Okay. And also do hover, and also make it a active effect. So if we click on it, the thing also triggers. So I mean, it doesn't matter the order, but I'm just gonna put it to center for things. For the active, does university start in September? I don't know. I mean, it's probably different by the countries to country, no? Okay, that's for the active, right? And also do have color set to white. Now, if you hover over it, it'll have the same effect. So this is basically signifying that it's right now put to all events. Now we have to dynamically change it. And now right now if I click, nothing happens because again, we haven't set it. We'll be using JavaScript to change that or control that because it's a filter button. I was excited but tiring, and also I made 3 friends, and one was so much nervous that I gave $1 million motivational speech. Nice. Did it help though? Did it help that person? Your newly made friend. Honestly, because I was an introvert initially at university, I barely made friends. I was like alone for like what, 2 months? And finally, when I was forced, and she became more nervous. Oh, okay. What did you say to her, man? And yeah, I was alone for a pretty long time. So I'm just gonna use the grid property because again, it's a grid. I'm gonna use same set to autofit, and it will set the max value set to what, 350 pixels, I guess. I'll also do one fraction, and it will look pretty much like this. Right now, it looks really janky and not great at all because we haven't styled the card and we have only styled the outer container. I'm also gonna add do 30% gap, 30 pixels gap. Portfolio. Now for the actual portfolio items, I'm just gonna set to position relative if I have to. So set the border 10 pixels, overflow set to hidden. Also do box shadow set to 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels. And RGBA set to that. Also do transition. Transition set to transform. 0.3 seconds at ease. That is something that we will be making, just like that. Now it is really bad. Now we need to style the image first, so that's fine. Once we do the image, it will look pretty nice. First, I need to do set hover. Oops, I need to copy that, paste it here. Now hover, I'm just gonna scale that. I'm gonna make a scaling effect. So I'm just gonna do scale it by 0.5. So if you hover over it, it should not transition. It just need to be transform. If you hover over it, it will just scale a little bit. She maybe was an introvert, but I don't think you are an introvert. You talk pretty much. I mean, I can talk on online, you know. I cannot do that in real life. That's like that's like a challenge for me, to be honest. I'm being completely honest here. Okay, for that I'm just gonna do width 100% and also do a height. Now it will just shrink down dramatically, just like that. And also do object fit cover because right now it's kind of all over the place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, one of the links does not work. Now ignore that. It's a dummy. It's just a dummy pictures. So yeah. And I'll also do portfolio overlay, just like that. Undo position, set to absolute. And also do bottom 0, left 0, and also do right. Oops, right 0. And do background, set to linear gradient, just like that. I'm basically setting that. I'm just gonna set a linear gradient to first set the thing transparent. And I'm gonna gradient it as a that. And there we go. It will have a transparent plus a glowy black effect. And yeah, that is what linear gradient does. I also do color white. And transform, I can do translate. At y, I'm going to do 100%. That will make that disappear. We have to change that from JavaScript. And do transition, do transform, 0.3 seconds at ease. There we go. Now, we're essentially what we're doing. First, we need to make the hover. We have to get the hover. So if the thing is hovered, what I'm going to do is set the overlay. I'm just going to set transform, set the translate property to 0. It'll just appear it like that. Now if I just put it here, it will just appear just like that. Now, yeah, that's pretty much it. And for now, I'm just going to do 100 pixels. It should look pretty nice. Yeah. Can you add a red moon image? Did you see red moon yesterday? I mean, I can. Give me a second. Red moon image. Okay, I have one. So I can just... I'm going to copy that. And... come here. So this is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 4th div. So I can just 1, 2, 3. So this is that one. Let's paste that there. There we go. Now this is what we'll do. You see this? The thing I'm trying to make it is here. There we go. Looks pretty nice. I think we need a little bit more padding on the thing. Give me a second, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna add a little bit of padding though. It kind of looks janky. I'd like not janky, but congested. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks pretty fine. Is it just me or just actually matches the text, even though I put a random image? But you know, Alicia said it says romantic beach wedding. It kind of looks like a beach. Okay, so with that said, let's move on. I'm just gonna do that, and that is our that section, right? The next section that we have to build is the testimonial section. So we also have 3 cards for this. So I'm just gonna do section add testimonials, and also do ID set the testimonials, and put a container here. Inside the container, as always, I'm gonna put a section header container because we need that, and also put that saying what our clients say. I'm gonna make one container and just copy paste that, as I did for the other two stuff. Now this is something that I need to copy paste. This is the content here. I'm just gonna do just random text, just like that. Now for the actual testimonial grid, what I can do is make a div called testimonials, right? And also do testimonials, set that to grid. Now I can just copy, oops, I meant copy, and do testimonial card. So this is individual card of testimonial. And inside this, what I can do is put a star rating kind of a thing, even though it will not work, obviously. And do testimonial rating, and just use the icon tags for class FAS FA star, and just copy paste that a bunch of times. That will basically give us stars, right? Now under this, what I'm gonna do is make a text. So I'm gonna use a paragraph tag saying testimonial text. So this is a text that again I generated from ChatGPT, like a paragraph, that is just a random paragraph, right? And what I'm gonna do is basically make a div called testimonial author, saying just saying who actually made it, just like a author. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the things. So I can just put Sarah and Michael. I'm just doing random names, by the way, and do Johnson. So this is for one, right? One card. So we need to make 3 more of these. So I'm just gonna copy already pre-made of these, which again has everything just that, but the content changed. So the content on this changes. That's pretty much it. I go here, as you can see, everything is the same, but the content. Now this is something that you can do using JavaScript. Now I'm being completely honest. That is how it is supposed to do. Yo, I'm too late today. I had college, man. It's fine. Welcome to the stream, sad vibe. Are you here today with another sad vibe? Again, I love the fact that you start your text by a sobbing emoji. It's kind of funny. But yeah, welcome to the stream, man. So for testimonial thing, I'm actually, my back hurts. Let me get some water, guys. By the way, remember to hydrate, okay? Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Drink juices if you have. I don't know. Did you answer that position question? Wait, which question? I know that position. That position? Which position? I don't know. What? What are you talking about, Alicia? I'm getting confused. You know. What? What's happening? Can you explain to me, please? So the answer to your question, my question, you mean question? Oh, oh my god, oh shit, I was not watching. Okay, Lumin asked a question apparently, and I didn't answer. What is the difference between position absolute and position flex? Not flex, position fix. Like, that's a good question. Okay. Here's the thing. When you do position, I'm going to answer that. I mean, okay. Okay, I'm gonna answer that. Okay. So what happens is, you see the nav bar here. So we have made the nav bar. So I'm just gonna go nav. Where's the nav bar? Oops. Where is it? Wait. What? Okay, give me a second. The header. There we go. Okay, so you see this position fixed, right? So if you do position fixed, it will basically get fixed to nearest positioned element when you do flexed, like positioned, right? I just said I will answer it. Okay. Alicia will answer that. Okay, I'm not. Okay, my mouth is shut. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna continue my code. How about that? Okay. Alicia, you can answer that. I don't know if his Lumine is actually in stream. Lumine, can you say hi if you're in the stream? Okay, so let me continue with my codes. Where was I? I was about to style the testimonials. I'm just gonna do padding set to 80 pixels. Also do 0, and also set the background. Hello. Oh, Lumine is here. Lumine. Alicia will answer your question. Yes. Alicia said so. Alicia is trolling. I don't know why. I have sense of thinking that she is trolling. I don't want this. I don't want this to be a website. I need answer, Alicia. Yes, we do need answers. So I'm just gonna make this a grid, right? I'm just gonna make this a grid as always because there's a bunch of cards. I'm also gonna use a beautiful thing that's repeat and set that to auto fit. Also use min max, set the one for 350 pixel per fraction. And yeah, I'll also do gap 30 pixels. Now here what I'm going to do is do testimonial, and I'm just going to do testimonial card. I'm going to get the background, and not background, I'm going to set the background to white. Also do padding to set to 30 pixels, and also do border radius set to 10 pixels. Also do box shadow set to 5 pixels, 20 pixels, and RGBA set to that. So do text align set to center. There we go. So that will make sure all of the things are centered here because everything is text, right? And next thing I need to do is style the rating. So right now it's black. I want it to be yellow. I'm just gonna do testimonial, which is the rating, which we put that. I'm just gonna do color, set that to yellow, just like that. That's too much yellow. Oh my god. Okay. What I can do here is, oops, I can set that to yellow, and I can make sure that it's kind of a blackish yellow. Okay, I'm just gonna use the hexor that I have. I tried to improvise, but yeah, that's why you need design. That's the exact reason why you need design. It seems Alicia is not answering, so I'm gonna answer. Okay, the fix, it moves. Okay, so but in absolute it stays stuck to the stream. What? Absolute position stays stuck. I'm really sorry I messed up. Okay, Alicia, I'm gonna explain. Okay. So here's the deal. Illumine. What happens is when you do position fix, you see this nav bar? We have used position fixed and used the top 0, which is top 0 meaning the top, absolute top of your web page. Now, if I had to show an example, right? If I go here and where is it? So if I change the top property to, let's say 100, you see this you see the bar coming down, right? because it has been set fixed on 100 positions. This is basically a parameter of the thing, 100 down from the top. You can also make it, let's say if you want something that to fix on the bottom, you can also use bottom 100 pixels, just like that, right? You can do that. You can also use bottom like -1, set to that, and yeah, it's not changing, which is kind of weird, but yeah, you get the point, right? It's set to that. You can also change that however you want, just like that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There we go. I forgot to add pixels. I don't know why. I just like that. So it will get set according to what you actually gave. You can also set it in 20 pixels, just like that. Set that to that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Oops. I'm just gonna do top 0, and there we go. Now, with position absolute, if you have something positioned absolute, now if I can just do absolute, what happens when you set a position absolute, it will basically search the nearest positioned element, right? If you go here and do overlay, right? Now if you go to grid here, or if you go to item here, right? Now this is a positioned element. Now we made it positioned to make sure the overlay, which is this one right here. Where am I? Okay, here. Positioned to that. So this will be relatively positioned to that, right? If you get what I'm saying, right? Now you can change the bottom, so let's say 100 pixels, just like that. Now I don't know how I can explain it. If I can just go here. Oops. Where's the things? This is the div service grid. Now the thing is, if I try to explain it on stream, my code will just get absolutely demolished. However, if you want, what about position sticky? Position sticky is basically a property that you can use. So if I do, it will just stick to and just be fixed. So if I go here and give it a property of sticky, right? And let's say I give a top value of 0 and give it a, how do I demonstrate it? Like kind of like very difficult. If I give a position relative, let's say position sticky, if I do position sticky here and do, it's very difficult to actually give it, but if you want to learn position, I actually have a tutorial in our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, right? If you go to our YouTube channel, oops. So if you go to YouTube channel here, and go to our playlist, and go to our HTML. Where is our HTML? HTML. There you go. HTML structure. Oops. There is a tutorial for position. There we go. So episode 8, CSS positioning explained. So in 20 minutes you can learn. I have explained everything that is there to it about position. I have explained fixed position, sticky position, absolute position, fixed position, relative position. I've also explained properties like top, left, right, bottom, and also z-index, everything. So if you want to learn positioning, I highly recommend you to check my tutorial, because I mean, come on, man. I know I'm just sellouting, but like, I think I explained it pretty clear in that video. So don't copy my words. So next, so on the surface, what happened? Let's say the position, if this element is positioned sticky, when you hover over it, it will just stay up there or wherever you have put it. Self-glaze is so intense. Come on, man. You can't do this to me. My chat's bullying me. Okay, I'm kidding. Well, come on, man. So yeah. What theme are you using, sir, in Visual Studio? I'm using Tokyo Night. If you go here and type Tokyo Night, it should be there. There we go. That's the thing that I'm using. You can install it. Looks pretty nice. Is it prettier? I also have prettier setup. No. The thing he means is themes. So in VS Code you can put themes. So if I go to, how do I set default theme? I kind of forgot. Do I have other themes? Let's say I just go to here and just disable it. Oh, where am I? Like disabled. So this is the normal theme that I have, right? Now if I just enable it, it will just look pretty much nice. What does this mean? Self glazes so intense. That means I'm just praising myself. So yeah, that's what he's trying to say. It just means I'm just promoting my own tongue, which is I mean that's it's kind of thing, but yeah. I mean I did work pretty hard for that thing, so I'm just saying. So I'm just gonna do font. Why did I do font style? I'm supposed to do font style. Font style, I'm just gonna do italic because it looks nice, and also do margin bottom set 20 pixels. Okay, now okay. What I'm gonna do is basically just code. I'm going to other tab your live so that I can catch up to missing tutorials. I mean that's completely fine, but you can also do it after the stream. That's completely fine, or you can do it when you're free. So font style text, and next I need to do is where am I? Okay, so this is for this is for that, and this is for the author, which is the text under that. So for that, the font weight, I'm just gonna do it bold, and color, set that to our signature color, and that should be pretty much it for the card. Now for the contact section, I was just joking, man. Ace tutorial makes us learn new things no matter who makes it. I love self-guides too. I mean, yeah, that's completely fair. Now, the contact section will be pretty long, so bear with me here, guys. I'm just gonna do contact. I'm just gonna quickly finish this, actually. Do contact. Inside this, I'm gonna make a container. Now, this is where React is really good. Instead of having me write this thing like 50 billion times, I can just import something, import a component, and just paste it here, and I can just send props, which will let me to change the content as well. That's why React is really good, and I don't have to do it, every single time. That is why React frameworks are like, other stuff are good. So yeah. How is it? How to let users input their comments? That's a good question. So, the ideal world, what happens is, let's say that you have something, an input field is basically a form, right? That's where the actual form implementation comes in. So, let's say you have a form filled up and you hit submit, right? What happens is JavaScript sends that to your backend API. So you will basically use that asynchronous doing a sync function, and I cannot type a sync function and making, let's say like you're making variables and const response equals to, or like awaiting fetch, and inside this you put your backend URL, and you're basically using the post method or whatever your backend tells you to do. You're using your post method to actually send the data to that. In all the surface, that's how you're supposed to do. Use input. So what happens is your front end sends the data as a string inside as a JSON file. You use on the surface, you store it in a JSON file. like a JavaScript object and send that to your backend servers, and the backend servers will take that JSON file or JSON data and like put that in your database. Now you get that database, so like all the data with your like name, your whatever like profile details you have, your name, your bio or your profile picture, everything will be saved in the backend API which you're sending to your backend, will be saved in your database, and also your comment. And after that, frontend also gets the data from that backend API and also puts it in your website. So that's how it works. So you're first sending the data, and then like getting the data after that to show that it's there. That's how it works on the surface. There's a lot of things like payload and like sending data. You can also use changing into JSON file using the correct payload, because I'm like having a lot of errors. Like something at first you'll get a lot of errors because you just initially don't have things. So right now I just forgot to make a section header here. Just copy paste that here. Sorry, I won't comment again for info. This is my third day learning this, and now I'm supposed to know about API backend JS. It's like asking a child to. Yeah, that is correct. So that's why this is thing. But like this is something that you have to learn eventually if you're starting front end. That makes sense. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, that's completely normal. Okay, that's completely normal. Don't be afraid to say that I don't get it. That's completely normal. But like right now, even if I try to teach you, it will not make sense because you don't have the things down. But I highly recommend you first learn the basics and just gradually get it. Not everyone is perfect. There's a lot of things that even I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to learn. Like yesterday, I didn't know about like a thing in backend, and another one of my coworkers told me. I was amazed. Like things could work like that. And yeah, it's just like how you learn. Not everyone is perfect. There is not a single developer that knows everything, right? Like that developer. I don't think that kind of developer exists in the world. So I'm just saying, okay? If you don't get it, that's completely normal. Don't be ashamed of saying I don't know. That's how you learn, guys. That's how you learn. So inside this, I can just paste that here. I'm just gonna format the document. Do you also do backend? I mean, sometimes I'm usually front end because from backend is not my thing. But sometimes, like backend when I'm working with backend, because when doing front end, you also have to integrate a backend into your front end. So like you still have to kind of get a gist of how the backend's code is running. So yeah. Usually, what happens is like backend engineers make a documentation saying all of the payloads, how the data is getting sent, what things they've used. Like sometimes you have to use things called WebSockets and every other things. So they just make a documentation. But even sometimes, even though they make documentations, the front end developers can still get pretty confused about how the things are going, right? So that at that time you have to personally contact your backend engineers and things like ask them how the coding is actually functioning. Now at that time, you just get to learn few stuff. But I'm not like that good at backend. I'm good at front end. So yeah. Okay, another dummy data coming in. So I'm just gonna give a random address here. Right now I don't know where I'm at. So let me quickly just do that. I'm just gonna code because I think it's getting pretty late, and else we also need to do like JavaScript. If we don't finish JavaScript today by end of like 10 p.m., we might have to postpone the stream for like the code, right? We can do it. How about if I don't finish are you guys okay with me doing this in another stream? Are you guys okay with that? I need to know that. So I'm just gonna change a few stuff here. So I'm just gonna have the same thing. I'm just gonna format the document. Yes, yeah, that's good. Because I don't think I will be able to finish this, guys, honestly. But I will try though. I think I should be, but I need a little bit more time. And I should shut up and just do and just start to code. Why is it formatting like that? It's kind of annoying. Now I haven't done anything. I am copy pasting code, but it is the same thing while having different icons and content, and that's pretty much it. Because this is address, this is phone number, and this is email. This is basically dummy data that has been hard coded. Now, in ideal world, you would use JavaScript to dynamically change it. I mean, this is how you're supposed to do it. Now, if you're into JavaScript and you want to learn more, we have a JavaScript series in our channel, so you can also check that out. Again, self-promoting. But yeah, I just want you guys to let you guys know. So this is content. So after that, we need to make. So for the form, right? So this will be a simple form. I'm not gonna make it too like complicated. So it'll be booking form. We'll have a saying book a consultation, and also do form. And inside this, I'm also gonna do form group and also do label for name. So it'll be for name and do full name. And just like that, there will be a label called full name. And here what I'm going to do is do input text name set to name. I'm just going to copy that, paste that here, set that to required. What? Yes. He was replying to the thing that I was gonna say, if I don't finish the code in this stream, can I do it the rest of it in another stream? So I was just asking that, Alicia. Because by the looks of it, I don't think I can finish it, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, so let me just get let me lock in for a second and do email address, and here I need to change the phone number. So I'm just going to change the phone number here, saying phone number, and also do phone, and change that, paste that, also change that to telephone number, saying not this telephone number, and also most importantly, set that to autocomplete. I'm going to set that to off. So that will basically not reveal my, I'll just not dox myself. I was not asking you, I was asking the Cybers. He said yes, but that's why I was asking him what yes. I see. So next thing I need to do is change the, I need to set the form group. I'm still 30 hours away from completing my Udemy course, though it's my second week. That's pretty good, I think, no? 30 hours away? I think that's pretty good, I think. And also do event type. So this will be for event type, and I'm just gonna set that event type. So this will be a event type, and we'll make it a drop down. So I'm just gonna use select here. Name, I'm just gonna put that to the same. That should be fine. And also give an ID of that, and that's pretty much it. Also give a required, and here I can use options. The first one will be empty because I don't need anything. Also do type. I can just do a bunch of that, and value, set that to wedding, and I'm also gonna I'm just gonna copy paste this. So it'll basically have a different value and the content. So I'm just gonna copy paste this. This is nothing. I haven't done anything. What I've done is initially we have made a select drop down, right? Now this is value, which will, will be cached from JavaScript. This is the actual content that user will see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So next thing I need to do is make another form group. So I'm just gonna copy that, paste that here. Oops. So for form group, this will be for guest. So this will be the number of expected guests. And I can probably just do expected number of guests here. Hey Gabi, when will you make food websites? Your coffee website is very cool. I mean, I can make food website. Okay, tomorrow we'll do a food website. How about that? If I finish this today. Let's do that. And minimum, we can set the minimum value to 1. So I have to set the minimum value to 1 in order for me to get it. Actually, I was learning Python before this and I quit because I wasn't seeing results. Results as mean? Like what? You're not like understanding stuff or something like that? And I also need another drop down here, so I'm just gonna use that. Okay. We can do a food website tomorrow. That's completely doable. I can do budget, and I'm just gonna copy that. I'm just gonna have the same thing. I'm also gonna put the things. I'm just gonna do budget range. By the way, guys, if you want the code to this, I think I'll put the code to this in the description after the stream ends because I kind of forgot to do it before I started the stream. But yeah. Why is sad vibes why is everyone deleting their messages? What? I find it too complicated. I mean, yeah, true, but like you get. By the way, another self-promotion. We also have a Python tutorial in this channel. Oh my god. So here, I'm just gonna cut that because we don't need that. Initial value will, just be that, and select budget range, just like that. Now I'm just gonna add a bunch of dummy data here. Format the document. So what I'm doing is giving a value here, saying, the budget, like 5,000, 10,000. You can do $5,000 to $10,000. Just same. This is what the user sees. This is the data that will be fetched from JavaScript. And it's a very easy coding language. That's true. Python is easier than other programming languages for a couple different things. That's one is dynamic casting, meaning you don't have to declare data types before declaring any variables or any data structures or anything, right? Another thing is Python has dynamic data structures, meaning you can have multiple different types of data types inside one data structure. Like an array can have, like a integer, float, boolean, whatever. Maybe it's just me, but I find it really hard. That's fine. Just slowly do it. If you find it difficult, that's completely normal. Just try harder. Like one day you'll get it. Like just do that. Now I'm just gonna do message. This will be the last thing that we have to make. I'm just gonna do additional details. Now this is a really big, oh my god, so I'm just gonna use text area. I also need to do message. But once you learn Python, if you switch to other programming languages, I bet you'll just love Python, because Python is way more easier in terms of syntax, that is way more easier than other programming languages, because other languages can be a headache. like Java, for example. I stopped learning when I reached oops. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, so you wait, so you did go that far. If you reached oop, that means you finished like all of the basics, like up to like probably data structures like dictionaries, sets, tuples, right? So that means you still are like pretty good. I mean, majority like than normal people, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty good actually. Have you learned oops on other programming languages? Because Python oops are kind of like not. I mean Python oops are like it's probably has easier syntaxes, but like it doesn't have a meaningful syntax. That is what like Python lacks. But it is kind of like understandable that you didn't understand oops now. You can learn oops by other programming languages. I mean, I started oops from Java because like um my college, my university doesn't decided to do it, but yeah. Okay, finally, let's start to like style this. Oh my god, this was a one heck of a HTML structure. So I can do. I was on day 16 of Angela Yu's course. I see. Do padding 0, 0, and here. What I can do is basically do contact and do contact content, which is the content. I can do display grid and do grid template columns. You can do one fraction and one fraction. It will say stuff like that, and do gap of 50 pixels. Also do align items to start. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is do contact and do contact info. So this is the information div. So outermost the container. So I'm just going to do padding 20 pixels, and also do now starting the contact item, and do display flex, and do align items to center, and also margin bottom to 25 pixels. Pretty cool. Next thing that I need to do is set a thing. So what I need to do here is probably do contact item I. So this is the active container. The font size I can do 1.5 rem. So do color, set that to that, and also do margin right, set to 15 pixels, width set to 30 pixels. There we go. Next thing I can do is I can also set the gap. So if I go to that, set the gap to 1 rem. Such too much. And do 0.5 rem. That should be fine, just like that. And next is booking form. I can just do booking form. So this is the div on the right. Now for that, I can just set to set the background to this one right here. We do padding set to 40 pixels. Border radius set to 10 pixels, and also do box shadow set to 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels. RGBA set to that, so that will make a cool div there, not like container. Python was the first programming language I learned. I started because really wanted to do web scraping. It seemed really cool, but over time motivation faded. That makes sense. I mean Python is used for web scraping, but like there is like really big thing that like education content wise you have to cover. So yeah, good luck with that, because you can explore other stuff. Like coding is about all of the stuff, you know. So here what I need to do, because coding has a wide variety of things that you can explore. So yeah. if one does not work, try something else. Who knows, that might work for you. So yeah, so font weight, I'm just gonna do bold and do colors, set that to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for the input fields, oops, I can just do that. Do input here. Now I can just copy that, paste that here, change that to text area. And at last, I can do the same and change that to select. And here I can do width 100%. By the way, guys, if you guys cannot see it, let me know, by the way. If you guys cannot see, okay? I can do that and also do border set to 1 pixel. Solid, I can do grayish color just like that. And do border radius set to about 5 pixels and also do font size 1 rem. Now for the text area, I'm gonna give another thing. I'm gonna add a few stuff here. I'm gonna call that again. I'm gonna do resize vertical. That will only let the thing only get. Right now, if I just comment that out, you can just resize it however you want. If user can do this, it will be a disaster, right? I'm just gonna set the resize to vertical, so user can only resize it vertically, right? And by default, I'm gonna give a height of 100 pixels, just like that. Now for the submit button, and give a background of our signature red color. Also do a color of white. Do a padding of 15 pixels and 30 pixels. What is happening? Why is everybody deleting their message? Do none, and also do border radius set to 5 pixels. And do font size set to 1.1 rem, and also do cursor set to pointer, and also do width 100%, and do transition set to background 0.3 seconds at ease. There we go. Everything works here. That makes sense. So that is for our. Now I can also make a hover effect for this. That will make it look even cooler. So for hover effect, I'm not gonna do two. I'm just gonna change the background color to like a darker red. So I'm just gonna do C0392B, which is the thing that I already have. So if I do that, that will be a darker red, which will have a cool effect, just like that. Now, one thing I can do here is I don't think I need to bother. So yeah, I don't. Okay, lastly, we are at our last section, which is footer. So inside this, I'm gonna make a container. Inside this, I'm gonna make a footer content. Right, I'm gonna make a footer content. Inside this div, I'm gonna make a footer section. Inside this, I'm gonna give my section here saying EventPro, and with a p tag with all of these here. And next thing I do is, did I mess up? I did mess up. I can do social links and do href and use the icon tags. Oops. The icon tags. Do FEB, FE, Facebook. This will return a Facebook logo. Just like that. And I can just change that to Instagram. Change that to LinkedIn, whatever you want. That's completely fine. There we go. That is our thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So next thing I need to do is add a footer section inside the. Okay, so outside the footer section, I need to make another section for this. And here what I need to do is, what I'm gonna do here is actually not gonna bother. Do I bother making that? No, and I can just do footer section and do entry quick links, and also do UL, and I can just style. And just do style, set the list style to none. I just have a bunch of inline CSS here. I'm just gonna do that. This is basically our same content here. So that is not that. Now I'm gonna have some few inline CSS. Just gonna do that and do text decoration, set that to none. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna do home. Now I'm just gonna copy that a bunch of times. So this will be services. That will be portfolio. And that will be contact. Come down here, also correct that link saying services, portfolio, and do contact. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna quickly do a bathroom break. So I'm just gonna mute and come back. Give me a second. I am back. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Can you guys hear me? So I'm back. So let me quickly finish this. After that, we should be good, right? So next thing I need to do is make a footer section. Yes, that's good. And do footer section. I'm just gonna quickly finish this now. You can ask me questions if you want. That's completely fine. Yes. Oh, Abelguring, welcome to the stream. And also do here, I'm just gonna do style, do list style, to set that to none. Use li here, and I have a bunch of data here. It's inside a bunch of list tags. I'm just gonna copy that. So because I don't want to, individually change that. So this is basically a list of all of these. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this footer section. And yeah, for footer content, I think that's pretty much it. Now the last thing that we have to make is a another div for the actual copyright statement. Make a div with I'm gonna make a div, right, which will not have a class, but we'll basically use that in a paragraph though. So this will basically be style. I'm just gonna do border top set to 1 pixel. Do solid. 1 pixel solid. Use 344958. That's the hexadecimal code that we'll be using. Also do padding top. I'm gonna give 20 pixels. Also give margin top about 30 pixels. And that's pretty much it for that. You guys probably cannot see. I'm sorry about that. That'll basically make a line. And here I'm just gonna use I'm gonna call the copy. That'll basically give a copyright icon. Hello, Abelgrung. How are you? And I'll just copy the content for that from here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the thing. Now I did not put here. Right? Now let's style the footer and we are good to go actually. Me good, just stay safe, my guy. Yeah. Thank you. It was kind of hectic, but yeah. A lot is happening nowadays. Yeah, I know. Background, I can set. I came home a little bit quicker actually. I left the office. We had like a half day on the office today. We do padding 40 pixels and 0. And yeah. So do footer, content, and also do display, grid, do grid template columns, do repeat, outfit, min max, 250 pixels each per fraction. That will look just like that. Pretty cool. Get a gap of 30 pixels as always. Do a margin bottom of 0.30 pixels. Bro got lucky for real? Yeah, I know. I did get lucky. And do footer section h3, change the color to that. Oops. Also do margin bottom. I have a 60% keyboard, so that's why it's kind of bad. Social links, I'll just do display flex, justify content center, and also do a gap of 20 pixels. Margin top set to 20 pixels, and yeah, that's pretty much it. For the social link individual things, I can just change the color to white, font size, set that to 1.5 rem. Also do transition, set to color 0.3, oops, 0.3 seconds at ease. And now you can just copy that, paste that here, make a hover effect, changing the color to our signature white. So if we hover over it, there we go, that changes the color. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The one thing I need to make, remember we made a fade in transition here? We have to make keyframes for that animation. It's gonna come down here. Oops. I'm gonna make keyframes, right? To make keyframes, you have to put keyframes, put in the name, so that's fade in up, I suppose, right? I'm just gonna copy just in case I mess up again. Just like that. Paste that. That is the correct answer. Correct spelling. And do from, change the opacity to 0. Now if I do that, everything will disappear, obviously. And do translate to 30 pixels. And yeah, so that will basically make half of the thing disappear. And yeah. So before doing that, and also do translate to y pixels, and here what I need to make is also a 2, so I'm just going to do opacity set to 1 and do transform, set the translate to 0. Now fade in, we haven't made the transition, fade in to pop up to both. Fade in up. Could you do a project on an online store someday? I could. If you guys want, I can do that. That's completely doable. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the animation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So next thing I need to make is do media queries. I'm just gonna do media query. Oops. I'm just gonna do max width set to 768 pixels and do menu toggle. So right now the thing should be set. Do the display block, right? So after hitting certain pixels, obviously it should pop up just like that. If it does pop up, Next thing I need to change is the nav links. I need to change that to display none, and also do position set to absolute, top set to 100%, left set to 0, right set to 0, and background set that. Now we're basically modifying it so that it works. Now I can give a active value here. If I give the nav links, I can give a active value here. So if I give that and do block here, this is how it will look, right? Do flex direction column and also do padding set to 20 pixels. This is how it will look. I know it doesn't look good, but yeah, right now we are basically doing that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now one thing I can do is give it a, yeah, we can do flex here. And yeah, that should look pretty nice. Just like that. Now what we'll do is initially we'll do none, and we'll just put that, do dot active and do display flex. Now it will look like that, and we'll basically change the class list depending on, you know, which we have. That is how you make a hamburger menu. Now next is hero content. I can do hero content h1, can do font size set to 2.5 rem, can come down here, set the hero content p, and the font set to 1.1 rem too. If it hits that, next I can change the contact content, because right now it looks kind of janky, right? Instead of, you know, having it side to side, and just do set to up, you know, change that to that, and do gap 30 pixels. And yeah, I can also do align items set to center. Oops, it's not flexbox, I forgot. But yeah, that is probably it. The next thing I need to do, I can probably use text align center. No, oh, it's a different container. I have to call in different container. That's fine. Now what I can do is do portfolio filter. So I can do gap 10 pixels, decrease the gap between the portfolio, right? Next, for the filter button, I can do padding set to 8 and 16 pixels, and set the font size to 0.9. And that is it for the CSS. That was all of our website layouting that we had to do. Now let's move on to JavaScript. Right? Let me quickly do it. So first we have to make a menu toggle. Are you working on a online store? Yeah, he is working on an online store. He told earlier. We can do document dot get element by ID. I can basically do a menu toggle. There we go. If I save that, you see the fade in effect. It looks pretty cool, right? Yeah, that does look pretty cool, doesn't it? Now that is what the thing does, but yeah. So here we'll add that and do const nav links equals to document. I'm just gonna do is query selector and do nav links. That will give me two DOMs here. And now I'm gonna do menu toggle dot add event listener. We'll listen to a click and basically just do that and do nav links. We'll use toggle here. In the class list, we'll toggle between the class list of active. So now it should work. That means I haven't gotten the DOM element, so uncard no. That means the thing does not work. So if I go here, the class is that I do. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I use query selector. Now it should work. There we go. The toggle button works, right? Next thing I need to do is make the smooth scrolling. So I'm gonna get all of the anchor tags, which is all of these. To get that, I can use regex using href and all of the anchor tags with href, and also get those IDs with that. So this is a regex, so if you don't understand, that's fine. So I'm just gonna, so this basically understand that this basically gets all of the anchor tags. So yeah, we'll get all of the anchor tags and it will return a list. We need to loop that, do anchor equals to, we'll do for each loop to anchor, loop all of that. We'll do for each anchor tag, we'll use event listener of click. We'll see if the user clicked on the thing. You'll make food website tomorrow, right? Yeah. But it'll be kind of a small food website though, because I tried doing the thing, but it took like I tried doing big one. At that time, I didn't have a second monitor, so I couldn't interact. So I was just typing one way. But if I do a really big food project, it will take a lot of time, unless I do it like in 2 parts. But yeah. But I'll do a medium-sized food project if you're okay with that. Do const target. I can do const target here, which is target variable. And I'm gonna get, so this will basically, I need the attribute, right? So I'll do query selector. I'm gonna do this dot. This means the actual DOM, right? I'm gonna get attribute. This will basically return me attribute. When I need to specify the attribute, it will give me the href attribute of that, right? Now, what I need to do is if the target exists, meaning if the target is in null, I can do target dot scroll into view, and I need to provide 2 parameters here, saying behavior. So behavior, I can set that to smooth and do block start. Add a comma here, and yeah, now if I click, it should be a smooth scrolling. I see one thing that the thing is not popping up. To do that, I can also do navlinks dot classlist dot remove. I can remove active. So every time, let's say I am in our portfolio, I can, if I wanted to go to our portfolio, click that will disappear, and we'll basically have a smooth scrolling effect. That is what this does, right? How to show an X when toggled? How to show an X when toggled? Okay, so to do that, what you can do now to do that, what you have to do is make a if statement here saying if. So you can do if the thing is checked or not, saying if it has show, if the class list has show. So do that. How would you do it? So we can check if the class list has show. So you can do which is DOM, right? So you can do menu toggle dot class list includes something like that. Or you could like do if else statement, like, because it's a list, right? We'll use includes something like that. I kind of forgot. Wait, oh no. Wait, what was it? Wait, oh my god. So I'm sorry, I forgot. I usually am so used to using toggle that I kind of forgot how to make the if else, because what happens is when you get the nav links, it returns you a list, right? If I just like, let's say I just console.log this, if I just log like console.log navlinks.classlist, if you log this and go to inspect, this will give you a, I need to click here. So this will give you a nav link, right? Now you can check if, I mean, you can technically do it as if it does have active or not. I forgot the thing, is it includes? Contains. So if it contains something, like, I don't know, it contains, you can check if it contains, what is this, menu toggles? So nav links, you can check if it contains this. So if I click over it, it will return true. You see this? So what you can do here is you can make a if else statement saying if navlinks dot classlist dot contains active. Now if it does contains active, that means you can just remove the existing one, right? Oops. Okay. Change that. You can change that to like, you can check that. So if it does have the active, that means it's currently active, right? What you can do is change the CSS of the icon tag, right? You can change the icon tag menu. You can get this. You can let's say this is the hamburger. What's the spelling? Hamburger. You can get the hamburger menu. From here, you can call the DOM just like that, and give it an class, or you can just give this an ID to separate this. Actually, give that and just get the hamburger and change that. So that will give me the hamburger menu. You can change the hamburger dot class name to something like, you can get that and change that to times if it's active, right? And did I do a syntax error here? So if it's active, right, you can do that. And also set the nav links. Okay, so if it's active, you can change that. If it's not, else, that means it's not active. So you can just use this operator right here. If it returns not else, else if. So else if it returns that, you can basically set the change that. Now if it's active, give me a second, I'm improvising right now because it's not Lumin asked, but it's not in my cheat sheet. I'm actually making the code. So if it's not active, that means I have to make it active, right? So I can just make the nav link, like new navlinks dot classlist dot active. I can change the class list. Addlist.add, I can add the active. I click over it, that will change that. And set that to that. So if I click over it, I don't change the thing. That's kind of weird. I think I messed up the syntax here, but this is how you're supposed to do it. But yeah. This is how you're supposed to do it if it's active. And if you want to change it, toggle.active.simple.content. I mean, you could do that, but I'm using the thing. Found this on Reddit. Yeah, you could do that, but the thing is, you can also change this. So that changes to time. So I'm trying to do that, but it's not working for some reason. I think I messed up the syntax. Let me get the syntax actually. I'm actually determined. Give me a second. I forgot the syntax for this. So I did correct. So I think my logic is flawed. But yeah, if it's not active, meaning if it's like if it does not contain that, then it will first you can, when clicked over it, you can set it to classless to active and set the hamburger menu to that, right? Initially set that to here, and if it's already active and you click over it, when you click on the hamburger menu, and it will just basically set the class name, remove the class name so that the toggle works. You can remove that so that the toggle works, and set the hamburger menu hamburger.class name equals to give me a second. So the class name, then the class name to something like fe dot times. Initially it will be bars, but like logic works like that. I think something is wrong with me here. The thing is not working here, so that's weird. But it is like that. I'm sorry for not making the code properly, but active, it should change it to times. I think that there is something wrong. But yeah, you are supposed to do that. Do it like that. Oh, okay. They're supposed to change the class name or the symbol to that when you're like active. So yeah. Did that help, Halloween, or what's happening? So let's continue with the code. So I'm just do Lex is making the booking form. But before I do that, I need to actually. I mean, you can do toggle.active, okay? You can do it. But the symbol, you can change it to that, but I'm using font awesome icons. So yeah. That's pretty much it. Oh wait, what happened? Let's change that to bars. I don't know why it's not working. It's not active, that means it's then need to change it times, that's 2 bars. So if I do that, okay, so I need to see why it's not working in a bit, but yeah. But I'll do it, give me a second. But let me make other stuff first, actually. I can do filter buttons equals to, but you are supposed to actually make it like that. Or you can also use the thing you said, like the toggle active, that works as well. But that is like a beginner friendly method, that's why I showed you, but I don't know, I forgot the logic for some reason. Yeah. Go to portfolio, or I might just be very tired. I just can't see what's happening, honestly. So portfolio, I'm just gonna do portfolio items. I'm just gonna set that equals to document dot query selector all, set that to, sorry for asking so many questions, I was curious. No, it's fine, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing that I'm streaming, for you guys to ask questions. But it's embarrassing for me because I couldn't do it. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I don't know. No, it should have worked. I don't know why it's not working. There's something wrong, but I don't know what is wrong. So if the class list contains items, that means the data is already active. You can remove the active and also have it change to bar. So if it's not, set the active and have, I don't know, it should have worked. I don't know why it's not working. It's probably because the reason is like some I didn't do corresponding to that. But yeah. But yeah, I will see. I'll probably make this and then think like what is the actual thing. Wait a second. I think I search the syntax. Give me a second, guys. I will drink water for a bit. Okay, let me. Okay, let's. So that is. But I'm back. Okay, so let me quickly finish this. So this is a filter buttons we are basically making. Do add event listener and also do a click and do that. We'll listen to that. We do const filter equals to button dot get attribute. Dude, I'm just gonna do data filter. That'll basically get the attribute of data filter, which we have sorted, right? We're basically making a sorting thing. Now what I'm gonna do is do filter buttons and also change between for each. I can do button, do btn dot class list dot remove and do active. So that is what we're doing here, changing that to active, and do button dot class list and do add. I can do active. And yeah, so that will basically set the filter. So we have to make the filter, the actual filter. So I'm just gonna do portfolio items dot for each and do for each item, and do const category equals to item dot get attribute, and do. The reason is like I kind of forgot about how it was in JavaScript, because in React you're just like I'm kind of like used to React. In React we just change one state. Well, I kind of forgot how we do it in JavaScript. I'm pretty sure that's the logic. That has to be logic. There's like no other like explanation. Or like I kind of messed up the thing here. Because or this thing does not work for some reason. The toggle works. I guess it doesn't work. But yeah. It's fine. I'm still glued into the fact that it didn't work, but yeah. Do filter, do triple, and do all, and also do that category set to filter. Now, if the filter is all, right, run this. If category is equal to filter, run that, and do item dot style dot display. I'm gonna set that to block and also set the item dot style dot animation, set the fade in up transition of 0.5 seconds ease, and also do a else block saying item dot style dot display, set that to none. So for other items, we'll just set that to none. We'll basically use the toggle to do that. So I can just come down here and do that. So here what I'm doing is we're listening to a click. Did I mess up something? I didn't, right? That's fine. Give me a second, guys. What is this? That's fine. So we're basically getting the attribute, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think we have to do anything else. Now, if the get attribute is not getting the button, that's the thing though. I put the button. So that's the button, filter buttons, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the filter. One thing I want to double check is did I make the correct thing? So if I go here, first selector all, okay, that's the where I messed up here. Okay, there we go. So I was saying why it was not working. The reason why is I forgot to make that. So yeah, it does work, as you can see. With the correct transition and everything works fine. That is the small sorting method that we made. The next thing you have to make is the booking form. So I can just do booking form equals to document dot query selector, and just do booking form and form, get all of the form. One form, not all of the form, because we're using query selector, and do add event listener. And to add event listener, we'll listen to a submit, and we'll just, first e.prevent default, that will prevent the website from reloading. And now do form data equals to new form data. So that is the constructor that we have to pull. Now that will basically store all of the fucking booking form, and do const data equals to object dot from entries. We can do that, and do form data dot entries, get all of the entries, and now check if all of the things are correct. Now here, if data.name does not exist, or any other stuff like data.email does not exist, or data or any other type of event does not exist, we can basically say event type, which is the class, right? If the event type does not exist, then we'll just alert the user saying, please fill in all required fields, and just return from the function, just like that. And if that does not pop up, that means the user has filled everything. So I'm just gonna put something like, thank you for your inquiry. I'm just gonna do that, and here undo booking form dot reset. That will reset the DOM. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I have to use the intersection observer. So I have to use the intersection observer. So what I'm going to do is do const observer equals to new intersection observer. This basically is a function, is a class in JavaScript that basically basically observes every element that enters a viewport, right? Now I'm going to do entries dot for each entry. I can just put this here. So if entry, so the thing, all the entries, right? If the entry is intersecting, I'm just checking one by one on everything is intersecting. That means if the element has entered the viewport of the user, that means the screen of the user. I'm just going to do entry dot style dot entry dot target dot style dot animation equals to, I'm just going to do feed in up 0.8 seconds is forwards. And now this needs a observer, so I need to, I mean, you can basically type it right there, but I'm going to make another object here saying the first thing will be threshold. So threshold will be 0.1, meaning the animation will trigger after the thing will appear 10%, not immediately. Next is root margin. I'm going to give the root margin. Root margin is an invisible margin that the intersection observer sets, that the user does not see the margin, but the thing does. By the way, I'm tired. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye. Just gonna copy that, and here I'm just gonna get that and paste that here. And that is everything that we have to do. Now we have to actually observe, if I kind of forgot. Do query selector all and do service dot service card and do dot testimonial card and do for each card equals to observe. I can do card, and that's pretty much it. That is all of our jobs that I need to make, and I think we have done it. There is a huge margin there for some reason, but okay. It's probably because I screwed up on JavaScript, on CSS. Oh, it's already 1 a.m. Didn't even notice. Oh my god. Okay, I'll finish everything quickly then. Ignore the header. Okay. Ignore the header. I think we should be done. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The website loads. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that you guys, and I'm just gonna end the stream here. I'm kind of tired, and I'll see you guys in another stream. Goodbye. Yeah. Good night, guys.